You ever notice how people talk about life like there's some invisible deadline? Like if you didn't figure things out by 30, or 40, or 50, then somehow the window closed. But if you actually run the numbers, that belief makes no sense. If someone is 50 years old today and lives to 85, which is completely normal now, that's 35 more years. That's an entire adult lifetime. So the real problem isn't time, it's perspective. And once your perspective changes, the way you live changes with it. So in this video, I want to walk you through a few ideas that can genuinely shift how you think about your life. And more importantly, what you do with it. It's almost never too late. You're just doing bad math. People underestimate how much life they still have. There was an example of someone in their 50s wondering if going to medical school was crazy. But when you actually calculate it, 1 year preparing, 4 years school, a few years residency, they'd still have over a decade of practicing. That's not crazy. That's logical. We treat big goals like they require perfect timing, when in reality they just require commitment. And this applies to everything. Career changes, relationships, learning skills, starting something new. The only time it's actually too late is when you stop choosing. I remember realizing this myself when I thought I was behind compared to other people my age. Then I looked at someone 10 years older than me who was just getting started, and it hit me. Nobody is ahead or behind. We're just on different timelines. Death awareness creates urgency, and that's healthy. Something interesting happens when people go to funerals. For a short moment afterward, everything feels clearer. You feel more alive. You think about what actually matters. You feel urgency. That reaction isn't negative, it's honest. Because the truth is, your next guaranteed milestone is death, not retirement, not success, not achievement, death. And oddly enough, accepting that reality gives you more freedom, not less. It removes the illusion that you have endless time to postpone things. What people will remember about you is not what you think. Nobody's eulogy says. They answered emails really fast. They hit their quarterly targets. They were amazing at PowerPoint. People talk about how you treated others, your character, your presence, your relationships, the kind of human you were. One powerful exercise mentioned is imagining your own eulogy, or even having people write it, not in a morbid way, in a clarity way, because it forces you to ask, who do I actually want to become? And then live toward that. Stop asking, what's my purpose? Ask better questions. One reason people feel stuck is they're asking the wrong question. What is the meaning of my life? That question assumes there's one correct answer hidden somewhere, waiting to be found. But life doesn't work like that. Meaning isn't discovered once. It's created repeatedly. A more useful question is, how can I create more meaning in my life right now? That shift alone removes pressure, because you move from searching to building. Meaning exists, even when parts of life aren't working. Sometimes people hear, find meaning where you are, and think, there's nothing meaningful about my situation. And that's valid. Maybe your job is wrong, your environment is wrong, or something isn't working. But that doesn't mean there aren't other areas of your life where meaning is available. Meaning isn't located in one place. It's distributed across experiences. You might hate your job, but love learning, friendships, creativity, movement, or helping others. The mistake is letting one broken area cancel everything else. The two worlds you live in, transaction versus flow. Most of life happens in what you could call the transactional world. Tasks, responsibilities, deadlines, bills, obligations. But there's another world people forget about, the flow world, that state where you're completely present. Athletes call it being in the zone. Runners feel it during a runner's high. Someone cooking with music on might feel it while chopping vegetables. Time disappears. Your mind quiets down, and you feel engaged. Psychologically, those moments generate energy instead of draining it. The problem isn't that flow is rare. It's that people don't intentionally create space for it. You don't need huge changes. You need small experiments. Another powerful idea is prototyping your life. Instead of making massive decisions, you try small experiments. 5 minutes of meditation instead of 30. Trying a hobby twice instead of committing forever. Spending 20 minutes reflecting instead of overhauling your life. Set the bar low, because action creates clarity. Overthinking creates paralysis. I've experienced this myself when starting something new. The hardest moment isn't doing it. It's the moment right before starting, when your brain says, this is pointless. But if you push through that moment, momentum appears. The simple life formula: curiosity, people, action, reflection. There's a simple loop that keeps people moving forward. Get curious. Talk to people. Try things. Reflect on what you learn. Then repeat. Curiosity leads to conversations. Conversations lead to opportunities. Opportunities lead to experiences. Experiences create stories and insight. Once that cycle starts, progress becomes natural. You can't do everything, and that's good. A huge source of anxiety is FOMO, fear of missing out. But the healthier mindset is what you could call JOMO, joy of missing out. Because when you see opportunities you can't pursue, it doesn't mean you're losing. It means the world is full of possibilities. Every yes automatically includes many no's. Choosing your life is more important than sampling every option. Your life is a becoming, not a finished product. Human beings aren't static. You're always becoming something. The only real mistake is quitting that process early. Physical limits may change. Circumstances may change. But growth never actually stops unless you decide it does. Silence creates insight. One underrated idea is simply turning off distractions for a few minutes. Most people say they don't have time, but phone data usually proves otherwise. Even 20 minutes of quiet reflection can surface ideas you didn't know were there. Your brain needs space to think. Without it, you live reactively instead of intentionally. Life is full of invitations. If you pay attention, opportunities rarely arrive as dramatic moments. They show up as curiosity, interest, conversations, ideas, tiny urges to try something. Those are invitations. The question is whether you notice them. Try something. That's always the starting point. At the end of everything, the advice becomes surprisingly simple. Try something small, not perfect, not dramatic, just something. Because movement creates possibility, and possibility creates momentum. If there's one thing to take from this, it's this. You probably have more time than you think, more options than you think, and more control than you think. Your life isn't fixed. It's designed, one decision at a time. As always, don't forget to hit the like button. That's all I ask for in return. And if you're not subscribed yet, click the subscribe button so you won't miss the next videos.